It would seem that a couple of tourists that took a private trip around the Titanic in a submarine have been gone missing, and at the time of making the video, chances are they're still alive. The only problem is that they have around 90 hours of oxygen remaining, so the search and rescue teams are trying desperately to find out where the submarine is in order to be able to save the people. However, as it's customary, it's only after a tragedy that a company is being investigated and looked into. First by the public, and then of course you're going to have the authorities to see why did this happen. But as people are looking into it, they're finding very interesting things. Like, for example, the CEO of OpenGate, which is operating the missing Titanic tourist submarine, explains that the company didn't want to hire any experienced, quote-unquote, 50-year-old white guys. So he would probably love to hire 50-year-old white women or 50-year-old Asian men. It's just like he has a problem with the 50-year-old white guys in particular. But don't take my word for it. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Yes, I mean, when I started the business, one of the things you'll find, there are other sub-operators out there, but they typically have gentlemen who are ex-military submariners, and you'll see a whole bunch of 50-year-old white guys. I wanted our team to be younger, to be inspirational, and I'm not going to inspire a 16-year-old to go pursue marine technology. But a 25-year-old, who's a sub-pilot or a platform operator, one of our techs, can be inspirational.
Did you guys ever felt that way, though? Like when you go in an airplane, right? If the pilot is an elderly gentleman, do you feel that you're not being inspired? Is that how the world works, or is this how ESG score works? Because this is what I think happened, right? Like, the investors gave him money to diversify, and he probably pushed the woke ideology, and this is why he is at this point. There's a lot of people in the comment section saying, oh, well, it's no big deal what he did. You just wanted a younger team. Listen, you chucklehead. Like, first of all, it's 2023. Like, most people understand what woke ideology is and what it does, right? Like, just stop gaslighting. I mean, the price of gas is very expensive. You should think about your family. You should think about how you can save money to put food on their table. Like, you got more important things to do than to waste the gas on the internet to light people. You know, But secondly, when it comes to submarines, there is a reason why most of these people are old and in the military. It's because submarines are incredibly rare. Most people aren't even going to see one in their entire life, let alone actually be inside the cockpit of one. And commercial submarines are also very rare. So the overwhelming amount of training that people can get on submarines do happen to be in the military. And submarines used to be more popular in the past than they are now, so therefore most people that have actually been in the military and actually went into a submarine, yeah, they happen to be old white guys, right? Because those are the ones that volunteered for the job. But if you're operating a submarine, like, your main concern should be safety. That not like financial concerns, like how you present yourself to the public. Because regardless of how you present yourself to the public, the moment disaster happens, you will never be able to, quote-unquote, present yourself to the public ever again, because you're going to be in a prison. So this company, right, prioritized profits, prioritized PR over the safety of its tourists. So the first of all is, obviously, if you look into it, they probably got investor money for the ESG score, right? I would be very shocked if this is not the case. But the second thing that they did is like, okay, how can we put like fresh, feminine faces as our pilots? How can we inspire people, right? Like, we want diversity. We want like obviously, when they say they want diversity, they're not going to want the African American from the ghetto, from poverty, and lift him up by his bootstraps. Like, that's not what they're talking about. No, they want like the corporate face, right? Like they want the person that already has a leg up. That's the one that they're going to choose, the upper middle class. So it's all about how you show face. It's all about paying lip service to an ideology. And this is what led to the disaster. And I hope that there's going to be an investigation. And if any one of them is found guilty of cutting corners or trying to put their financial interests over the safety of the public, they should be arrested. And there should be an example made out of them. I'm pretty sure the media won't. You know, like, they never want to show that hiring people on anything else based on, besides based on merit has consequences. Like, they avoid that like the plague. But I can't think of a better situation than this. You know, and I can't even imagine what it's like for the people that are trapped in the submarine now. You just try to picture yourself. You know, you're on the bottom of the sea. You got the limited supply of oxygen. Like, imagine what they're going through. And not to mention that there's also their family members and the people outside that are waiting. And it's not just like the woke issue, right? Because usually the woke ideology is a great way for rich people to hide their incompetence behind. Man, like, they will say, well, we were just trying to be progressive, we're just trying to diversify. No, you're trying to make money. You know, like, this is literally what the left used to complain about when they would say, like, greedy, evil capitalist corporation. Like, literally. And this greedy, evil capitalist corporation can hide behind the ideology of the woke in order to make themselves look like the victim. Here you have an individual who asked for a refund. They were cutting too many corners. Friend of Hamish Harding says he pulled out of joining the billionaire on missing OceanGate sub Titanic due to safety concerns. So this is a customer that could have been into the sub right now, but because he had a very good sense of self-preservation, looked at what the company is doing, and they said, okay, well, I'm not going to risk myself to go into this submarine. So apparently this thrill seeker, which is 61, right? Like very interesting how diversity only needs to happen with the staff, but like with the customers, it's fine. You know, like you can take your the old white person's money. Like, taking his money is perfect, is great, you know, it's very inclusive, very equitable. Just don't hire them, right? Even if they happen to be competent. Chris Brown paid the deposit to go on the doomed voyage, but says he changed his mind after becoming concerned that by the quality of technology and the material used. He told the newspaper that despite being one of the first people to sign up for the trip, he decided that the risks were too high. The sub lost communication during a dive to the Titanic, which is around 12,000 feet below the Atlantic, so this is why the search operations are so difficult. A frantic search is going underway, but they have like around 96 hours of oxygen before the supply runs out. He says that Mr. Brown alleged that in the years that followed, he learned that OceanGate had missed key targets when depth testing the submersibles. The multi-billionaire digital market tycoon found it concerning that the vessel was controlled by a modified PlayStation controller. He also is understood to have been worried by the technical issues and delays in the development process. I found out that they used old scaffolding poles for the sub's ballast. If you have a private sub, it's fine, but when it's a commercial one, you should use better technology. So this guy probably realized that he made the best decision of his entire life. Like, can you imagine how that's like? Imagine this, you know, you want to buy a plane ticket, but then you do your own research, you know, without independent fact checkers by some reason. You do your own research, and you find out, okay, well, this is worrying me. This is a little bit unsafe. And it turns out that after you cancel your trip, something bad happens with the plane. How would you feel about your decision? How would you feel about it? Like, when you get the news, what goes through your mind? I'm really curious. But, yeah, I hope they find the people. I hope there's an investigation and the ones responsible are going to be sent to justice. And there should be made an example out of this for other companies. Apparently, they even refused independent companies to look into their safety and whatnot because they knew that they're not safe, right? So this is a company which cut corners so much to the point where it's literally the definition of the evil, greedy capitalist corporation. But the left, it seems to defend this company. Why? Because it was woke. What a beautiful ideology, you know? Woke late-stage capitalism, we should call it. Let me know what you guys think, and as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.